Welcome to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling. You are about to discover impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you, so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Be sure you visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com. While you're there, subscribe to us via your favorite network. Now tune in, get ready, and enjoy the journey of emerging as a leader of exception in the 21st century.
Welcome, everyone, to the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast. I'm your host, Vicki Noethling, coming to you from Roswell, Georgia. The goal of this podcast is to bring topics and guests that will empower you to become the confident leader and take your business and your life to the next level. Today, I am very excited to share our time together with Paul Crosby. And let me tell you about Paul. So Paul is one of the founders and CEO at the Uncommon League. Paul was also the full-time instructor for project management, shout to project management, Agile and strategic enterprise analysis. Paul's the author of Fail Fast, Fail Safe, Harnessing Failure to Succeed, and the Uncommon Book of Analyses Techniques. Paul has presented at events all over North America and Europe, including BA World, Project Summit, local IIBA Chapter Meetings, and other events. So today, of course, my topic is going to be about failure, harnessing failure for success in business and life. Please join me in welcoming my guest, Paul Crosby.
Well, hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
It's wonderful to have you. Yes, I will be a project manager till I die.
I'm there right with you. I'm right there.
I know, because, I really think in life, we all are project managers, and people just need to get on board with that. And, when I teach project management 101 or anything like that, it's like, think about it. Everything we do, it has processes, it has procedures, it has things that we need to do.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of tasks.
You need a quarterback. You need a quarterback. There we are. Absolutely.
Every good football team has one.
That's exactly right. And they don't always listen to them.
There's that. That makes them a play.
There is that. But that, and I think the other thing a great project manager has is a sense of humor. Because if you don't, you'd be a frustrated person all your life.
Yeah, you'd be in a straitjacket if you didn't have a sense of humor in project management.
That is so true. All right, we always start out with the easy question, which is, where do you call home?
Eden Prairie, Minnesota is where I call home. So we're back up here in the Northland. Minnesota there, a little longer in the boat.
Yes. You like the snow, do ya?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that isn't coming for a while. Cross your fingers.
I know. I always tell people whenever they say they're from Minnesota, the first time I was there, I was when I worked for Arby's corporate office, and I was a construction coordinator, my first taste of project management. And so we were going to check out a company that made prefab buildings for Arby's. There was a line on this house that you go, and the neighbor's about 5 or 10 miles away from where this was. And there's this line above the door across the house. And I said, what is that line? Well, that's the snow line. I was like, okay, on my list, never move to this city. Never going to be there.
Not the place for me. Yeah, you have to, it's hardy people, and a good shovelers are a good
or getting that heavy equipment to move the snow. Yes. Awesome. Absolutely. So I gave your bio, but tell us a little bit about your story and how you went from where you started to where you are today.
Oh, back in ancient times.
I was going to say, it's only half an hour.
back before the invention of the wheel. No, it was in the 80s. It was, okay, I'm admitting my age. It was in the 80s. I started off as telecommunications cabling. So I was up in the ceilings, dragging cables all around, having fun with that. And, digging holes and all that good stuff. But after that, grew into actually using my accounting degree and working in accounting and kind of figuring out how things kind of work and learning the process of things and kind of helping to make sure that certain things operate on a meaningful level and that we're getting where we need to go. So I kind of had that inkling of what a project manager was at that point. And then, just started doing, little things like introducing the PC into the accounting department. That was my big project, the very first one that I did. So that was, a lot of hand-holding and training and, what the heck is a spreadsheet and how do I use it kind of thing, back in the days of Lotus 1-2-3. And, yeah, it's way back there. I am a walking museum here. I'm telling you.
I think we're both from that same time.
I do enjoy doing that to my nieces and nephews because I show them I still have one of those 8-inch floppy disks. And
Oh, yeah.
This is how we used to store data. And they go, it's so huge. And I go, and it's stored 64K. Woo!
And if you had music as you started it up.
Played a little song. And then, from there, I just kind of continued into, because telecommunications and got into voice response, interactive IVR, interactive voice response, PBXs, T1, T2 lines, data connections, and all that fun stuff. And then, that was total project management because that was after the breakup of AT&T, and now you had 5 different companies that you had to deal with, and you had to coordinate among all of them. And so that was further developed me into that project management. And that's when I started to think, hey, this project manager career, this is kind of a good thing for me. I might want to try this. And went off to University of St. Thomas and got my certificate in project management from the university there. And then continued on to get my project management professional and all that fun stuff. Worked for IBM Global Services. I've worked for most of the Fortune 100 doing projects and that sort of stuff. And I got to this point, where I'm like, I was a CFO for a while, and I was certainly a chief technology officer and CIO officer for a while. And I just got to this point where I was just like, I don't know, where am I going? What is the next step for me? And where should I really go? I mean, I could stay on this path and I could probably sit here for 30 years and retire, or do I go on and I try something bold and different, right? And I went, okay, we're going to try it. And fun. Yeah. There's only so many times you can close the books in accounting, it becomes a little boring after a while, but yeah. And, something challenging, right? So I went out and started my own company with a few folks, and that's kind of how the Uncommonly started. You'll notice our logo has the 3 little heads coming together, and the 3 little heads are different colors. Each one of those colors represents one of the original owners. And then in this very center of it, you'll notice a little propeller, and that's propels us forward. Joining minds together propels us forward.
Oh my goodness, very nice. There's
the secret to the logo. That took about 6 months to build, but yeah, okay, it worked. And had a lot of time. Oh, shout out to Mercy Eller for putting that together. Thank you so much. Poor thing had to deal with us overly creative people. Yeah, and so we started this organization 8 years ago, and we were the first company straight out of the gate to do virtual training. That was our gig. And we did it years before COVID hit, and we were the pros at it, and people were turning to us during COVID and saying, well, how do you do this? And how does this all work? And all that kind of fun stuff. And, so we help, develop instructors, and not only in our own company, but other companies as well, and kind of continue. That's when I started to write my first book, was Fail Fast, Fail Safe. And that was about, really learning how to fail and to learn from that failure and not be afraid of it. And I think that was a big important moment for me of realizing just total transparently, I was terrified to open my own business. Terrified. I was like, where's the income coming from? I don't want to have medical insurance. I won't have dental insurance. I won't have any stability. Where will this, and I was just totally paralyzed by this. And, I really had to step outside of myself, and it took a little encouragement from some of the founders of the Uncommonly to kind of say, you know what, you got this, Paul. You wait a minute, what are you talking about? You know how to run an organization. You've been there. You've been a CIO. You've been in these positions. What the heck are you doing? Why are you so terrified all of a sudden working for yourself? And I was like, maybe I gotta build my confidence here. I gotta be able to do this. And that we kind of started that conversation, and it stuck with me. And that's why I kind of wrote the book. And it was a keynote that I had done at a particular event, and it went over really well. And I decided to turn it into a book and explore the subject further. But it's true, is that we have to harness failure. We are going to fail in our lives. Sometimes spectacularly, sometimes, a little bit. But I think the whole key is to not be afraid of putting ourselves out there, of not taking that leap of faith, if you will, with the understanding of, this could be bad. This is definitely a failure opportunity moment. But to feel safe on the other side of it, like think about, okay, if I take this leap, what are my alternatives here before I take it? Can I, how do I land softly, on some nice squishy pillows, and I think that we view failure as something that is you want to avoid. You don't want to be there, right? And certainly in life and death situations, I don't want an emergency medical technician to fail, right? Don't want that. Don't want the elevator to fail. Don't want that falling to my death. No, none of that kind of stuff. But there are times when you have to know when to take that risk and that failure and go for it. And I think part of that is doing things that you normally wouldn't do. And so, as I explained in the book, I'm like, I decided, what, I'm gonna just take up skiing and just see what this is about. I never skied before in my life. I was in my middle age there in Minnesota. It's true. Never snow. There was snow everywhere, and I never skied. Kind of weird.
It is.
And I took a lesson on a thing, and I remember that we were on the little hill there, the little bunny hill, and we're on the bottom of the bunny hill. We hadn't even gone up to the top of the hill, and the instructor's explaining things, and I started sliding backwards. I didn't know how to stop, so I'm like waving the hands and doing the feet, trying to do everything, and I just go crashing backwards into a tree. It was hilarious. They're like, oh my God, are you okay?
Nobody taught you the V.
I'm like, okay. Skiing, not for me. I'm never going to be on check, done, but I'm never going to be Black Diamond, right? So we're never going to worry about that. But, I found myself going out there and just doing stuff that I normally wouldn't do. I took a pottery class. And let's be honest, I had trouble making a plate. It was terrible. But I did it anyway. And it was just learning from that, just these, and meeting people and different perspectives and understanding that art form a little bit more, understanding that I didn't do well, and I certainly failed, but it was still safe. I still landed in a safe spot, and it was okay. And and just being able to be open about that and just kind of rock and roll with it. And I find that that's one of the advice that I give to all of my little project management students. It's like, hey, listen, life is all about a lot of these little failures that are going to happen, and learn from them, take a lesson from it, and figure it out, because you can always pull that in. Throughout all of my career, I have been in multiple industries, multiple different companies. Everybody does it a little bit differently, but that's okay, because all of these different ways of doing things have now come into me, have kind of sunk into the sponge, if you will, and are now there for me to pick and choose when I need to have a new project. I can go, well, wait a minute.
We'll do it this way. We'll do it this way.
Exactly. And we could combine them and do it this
Yeah,
way.
that's exactly right.
Mad
So many
scientist.
things to unpack there. First of all, the very first thing, when we talk about failing safe, failing fast, failing safe. So you and I, when we first started out in project management, it was the waterfall method, and you
Yeah.
knew your outcome, and that's what you started, you worked your way backwards for. And failure was not really well accepted by
Not at
those
all.
that were not on your team, those that were paying the bills. But in the later, 2014, 2013, around there, the whole Agile thing came in the company that I worked for. And the whole idea is what you want to fail so you can learn from that, so you can get better. And but it's
Exactly.
still as your project management mind had to wrap around that it's okay to do that.
Mhm.
But what I heard when you talked about skiing and your plate failure is every time I have had a failure in some lesson of management, of leadership, of being a parent or whatnot, I could take that failure and really pull from it some lesson that was helpful for that person that I was advising or coaching or mentoring. And so I think sometimes we think, well, I'm never going to ski again, but what did you learn, as you were going backwards and things like that. And the fact I always tell people whenever I'm trying to get them to be innovative and creative is that um, if it's not going to kill you or put you in jail, then why don't you give it a go?
Give it a shot.
Yeah. I mean, the worst thing is you fall, and just like that 1-year-old, you get right back up and you try to walk again.
Yeah, and mom and dad are there, right? They're going to help you
That's
back up
right.
on your feet
That's
and
right.
hold your hands while you're doing it. My parents were very generous and had shag carpeting. It was very soft to land on. So,
Was it?
that's what it is. As a mentor,
Yeah.
that's kind of what I see myself as a mentor is that,
Yeah.
I have the shag carpeting that's the soft landing. And yeah, I'm there kind of helping you take your first steps, and you're gonna fall, but that's okay. You'll get back up
Yeah.
again.
Yeah. Yeah. As people have been there, done that, have the t-shirt, it is, I think, our responsibility to be that mentor. People helped us along the way, or when we didn't have the help, we know how frustrating it was. And so if I
Yeah.
can help someone have, not necessarily, I don't ever want them not to fail,
Mhm.
kids or people that I'm working with. I want you to experience that failure so that I see how you react to it and how can I mentor you to maybe react in a better way.
Yeah, definitely. And it's same true with organizations. One of the organizations that I was leading, and my term as president was up, and I was, it was a volunteer organization, and I
Mhm.
was on my way out the door, and then, and there's okay, you won all these awards and most innovative and best, and all that fun stuff, and um, one of my colleagues that was on the board was, we're going to miss you, and all of your great efforts. And she looked at me and she said, I don't know how we're going to do it without you. I think we're going to fail.
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I said, you know what? Maybe they do need to fail,
Yeah.
because they have that opportunity as an organization to learn from that failure
Yeah.
and to kind of build themselves up on it. So that the organization is entirely resting on one individual. It's resting on a team of people to really
Yeah.
build a community in that organization.
I was mentored by the CIO of UPS, and he
Yes.
told me that first, probably a couple of times sitting with him, that he only hires smarter people than him. He
Oh,
never wants to be the smartest person in the room. And he wants to learn from those people. But also, he said, the thing is, I know then they can stand on their own 2 feet when I'm not there to tell them what to do.
yeah. They're more independent.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a
So
really
that
good
stayed
point.
with me all my life. Yeah. So you say you are passionate about helping people break through the glass ceilings. And when we're talking people, mostly we're talking women. Technology and women, it really was a man's world for a long, long time.
Yeah.
So talk to us about how you have helped people break through the glass ceiling.
Well, right now I am part of, we have the In Common Foundation, and the In Common Foundation is working with many different organizations, but one of the organizations we're working with is TechFluent. And what TechFluent does is they're helping women that have decided to come back into the workplace. They've done the child thing, and they're coming back into the workplace. Or they put their career on the back burner while they're raising their kids, that sort of thing. And also that they're new to this role of technology. And what we do is we upskill them, right? We teach them about project management and business analysis and development and technologies that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's done in conjunction with Microsoft, and it's helping build up these women who normally would not get that opportunity to be able to do that, right? And when you think about it, a college education is ridiculously expensive.
Yeah.
And we do this for free. We have people apply for it, and then we kind of work with those folks and kind of get them up into the new technology careers. The resume, the interviewing, the how you handle yourself in the environment, and all that kind of fun and exciting stuff. And I am passionate about it because I've seen it throughout my whole career, sort of this. I hate to say it, but it's second class status.
Mm-hmm.
When I was in the director
on point.
And I was the director of a project management office, and I had two of my female project manager colleagues that were not being paid anywhere near the same level as their male counterpart. I mean, it wasn't even anywhere near. And I remember going into my boss's office, and I personally was appalled. I was just like, this is ridiculous. This is tens of thousands of dollars. This is not, that sort of thing. And these people are contributors. They have contributed significantly to the success of this organization. And it was a battle to get them back, to get the pay to kind of equal out a little bit, and they had the experience, they had the certifications, they had the success. They should certainly be getting that. And I don't regret that at all. I think that was the right decision. It was the toughest battle I've ever fought. And I'm proud of that battle, and that I did win that battle to a certain perspective. And I'm glad I did, because I think that it's important that we stand up for what we believe in, and to be open and honest about that. And and to me, it sort of gets to ethics a little bit, of treating people equally, and being a good citizen, and as a part of a good community, and just kind of building that sense of equality a little bit more than what was the norm. And certainly that was in the 90s. That was long before #MeToo, and it was hard because it was a male dominated decision-making chain, and it was very hard to influence that, to get it to the point of where we can get these people back up to the pay that they want. So it was a good thing, and I certainly learned a lot about it, and it just kind of stuck with me a little bit. I think it has propelled me a little bit in some of the decisions that I've made, and certainly some of the concepts that we've developed, and that I'm no idiot. I know that the majority of my customers, or 60% of them, are women. Right. And so I want to continue to support them. I really feel strongly about that. I think there's a connection there. I think that's the market. And I think that I want to continue to support that very strongly. And, so we're looking at different things to do that. We're looking at a women's conference and other things to kind of, help build leadership in women's skills. And we're definitely, that's a good thing. I think it is a good thing to do.
So that's why after I retired in 2018, I decided to start this business. And the podcast just came out of it as me wanting to try to connect people to the people that could help them. And,
Yeah.
my target audience is mostly women entrepreneurs. I do have a large following of male entrepreneurs, and small business owners. But I just think that it's just like my duty that
Yeah.
if I can connect you with people that will help you. You cannot be a business owner and be afraid of technology.
Right.
You have to be able to work smart, and that means you need to understand the technology that can help you work smart, and you have to be confident.
Mhm.
And so I work with all of those things for people, and love that you have this business to do it. Ultimately, that's why I love doing training. I love to get out there and train people,
Oh yeah.
because they need that. They need that boost of confidence, and and then also that person to fall back on and say, "Hey, what about this?" You know.
Yeah, and I
So
love the new generation because it's fun working with them. They're not they don't work and operate the same way that we do in our generation, but they're hilarious because you can tell them these stories, and they're like, oh, that's why that happened, and there's that experience level that you can extend to them, and I'm like, hey, listen, the train is coming down the tunnel. You need to get off the track, right?
yeah,
Give them some advice and just kind of make it easier for them so that they're not running into a brick wall or getting run over by a train. And I
right,
think that that's very important. And that was one of the things that propelled me forward throughout my career was I had a lot of good mentors. I had
yeah,
a lot
me
of
too. Yeah,
people that helped me move to that next level, move to the director level, the manager level, the C level, all the way up the chain. And even to run my own business, I had people helping me to do that.
yeah,
And I'm knock on wood, I'm lucky to have had those talented individuals to support me and to bring me
mhm,
forward. And as you said, duty, and I now do believe it is duty
yeah,
that now that I have been pushed up and risen, now I have the chance to do that for others
yeah,
and raise all boats.
yeah.
Yeah.
And do it in a way that people don't feel that they're less.
Right.
It's I don't expect you to know everything. I did every day new technology comes out that we don't know about. And so I think it's exciting and fun. And at 65, I love this whole new information and technology that's coming out. I think it's so exciting, and to sit back and just watch it go by, it was just not on the cards for me. It's like, no, I guess I will be a geek forever. But anyway.
That's okay. I'm right there with you.
Yeah, so takes me to my next question, was what excites you the most about the future of business and technology?
Yeah, there's a lot of great stuff happening out there. There's the whole AI thing, I think, is the big thing that everyone's kind of chatting about. And I think that um, missing the mark on that a little bit. I think that we're all worried about that this thing is going to be able to replace us, and I don't think that's the case
Yeah, me either.
because the AI model is built upon the history and the past. Even if you ask Chat GPT at this point of something that happened currently, it doesn't know, right? Because it hasn't gotten that far yet in
Mm-hmm.
absorbing all that information. And it's like any other tool. I know that as I've gone through my career, there's always been some trend, some tool, something that's always
Mm-hmm.
been like, it's going to kill us all. We're all going to die. No, we're not going to die. It's fine. And it's a good tool for diving into data. It helps write code a little bit, things like that. I think that's a good thing. It can help customer service too with the workflow. Although I still find those, even though I have developed them and programmed them, I still find those interactive voice responses kind of annoying. Answering 20 million questions to get to where you need to
Yeah,
go is kind of crazy.
yeah,
But
that is.
that's one part of the technology, I think, and I see that the business is evolving into more of a free form sort of
Mm-hmm.
work environment. Because back in my day, it was you were in the office every day. There was no remote work. You were wearing suits and ties, and it was a very formal environment. But now you flash forward into the 2020s here. the environment isn't that formal. We don't wear suits not at places that I go to, and also we're not that formal with each other. We're a little bit more informal and casual about things. We have more of an adaptability, flexibility attitude, which is agile, that kind of is developed and woven into the business culture. And we're more of a collaborative workforce. And we have to be able to collaborate and work with a lot of diverse people in order to be able to be success in your business. And I see that speeding up, and I think that it is probably going to get to the point, especially with my organization, is most of my folks are freelancers. They come and go as they come into the project when they want to, and then, okay, I'll do this part of it, and then they take off, and then I get somebody else come in and they do this part of the project and they go, and then this person does this thing. It isn't like I have a set hard line, that's kind of going there. I've got people kind of coming in and kind of going out. So it's a different management of that. And I continue to see that happening, because I think what we're starting to realize is that each individual is unique, and they have a unique set of skills that they are exceptional at. And that exceptional skill is what you want on your project. So you bring them in for that piece of it. They do a bang up job, and then that's it. They go. And we're not trying to develop them to be a perfect model in all of the areas. We're saying, well, wait a minute, this person's really good at graphics design. Bring them in. They'll do the graphics design, they'll leave, that's fine. And then we can move on to the next piece. And then this person over here is really good at this. Fine, let's get the best in, work on that code, bring them out, and then we'll do something on testing. And I've got a great tester. She comes in, she tests it, she's gone, she's on to the next one. And it's more of this fluid working environment. And I continue to kind of see that happening. And so I think business is changing in very unique ways. The approach that we take in managing people is different. Where we house people. I remember having conversations with the CFO Leadership Council in 2018 that, hey guys, real estate is expensive. Why do you insist upon having everybody in the office? Well, we have to, because there has to be collaboration. Did we get collaboration? Not necessarily. I mean, people were sitting right next to each other and we're like not cooperating or not collaborating at all. And so it really got back down to collaborating and that sort of thing. So I continue to see it being remote. I continue to see things being more flexible, adaptable, freelancer sort of thing, more geared to a specific, narrower skill. I definitely see the technology sort of supporting that. AI is going to be there as a way of enabling some of these fast starts to kind of get things going. If you want to write a book or a blog or whatever, it'll give you some topics and you can kind of use it for research. But I don't see it as being, the end all be all solution that everyone is kind of looking at right now. And I think it's going to be exciting, I think, in business. I think it's going to be, way different than when I started off in my career.
That is so true. And that's one of the reasons I do a course on leading with your heart, your head, and your hands, because it is different. You have to build relationships. You have to really, your workplace needs to be a community, and that feeling, once you have people understanding that they're important to the vision, the goals, then you can start thinking strategically how they play a part of that. And then the last piece is the service piece, the working with the hands. And I always encourage people to do volunteer work, because I know when they do that, then when I give them a paycheck, they're going to work even harder for me. But it's different and remote. It's not a close your door as a manager and at the end of the day you come out again. You really have to work hard to keep those relationships, to build that strong sense of belonging for people who may only see you a couple times a year.
Yeah. If and some organizations are even removing them and creating these self-organized teams, self-managing teams as well, which is an interesting concept.
Yeah. Well, it is time now for me to share my screen. I hope that you all have been taking notes. But if not, go grab that paper pencil now. I will give those that are just listening the website information. You can go to my website to be able to pull in a screenshot of this as well as my YouTube channel. So the website is https://theuncommonleague.com/powerful, theuncommonleague.com/powerful. On LinkedIn, you can find him by P. Crosby. That's Crosby, P. Crosby on LinkedIn. And Paul, if you will just tell them a little bit about what they'll find on your website and about the training courses that you talked about.
Yeah, so on the powerful one here will get you to a free download of 7 powerful analysis techniques. It's a free little ebook there, PDF that you can download, and we talk about some great techniques in there. It's great for entrepreneurs, business leaders to take a look at that. There's about goal setting and deconstruction of those goals. Also on the uncommonleague.com, you'll find all of our training courses on a business analysis, product management, as well as project management, product owner, and all of our great products that we have out there.
Do you have anything on process management?
We do.
Yes.
We are just doing that course next week. I was just looking at that. Yeah.
Very good.
Business process modeling and improvement.
Yeah. I always did all of my projects starting with process management. And I just always found it made more successful projects whenever those involved understood the process of what they have and where the gaps or the opportunities are. So glad to hear you have that.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being a very informing and educational guest, as well as lots of fun. And I will just always remember you going backwards down the bunny hill. Yes, I will.
If there's any takeaway from this podcast, that would be it.
Yeah, that would be it. No, you gave wonderful information. I encourage everybody to please go to the website to see how he might help you to really fulfill his need to give back by being able to train you, give you some insight, and be able to fail fast and fail safe. As always, thank you for being here. And I remind everyone that life is a journey and it's up to you to enjoy the ride. This is Vicki Noethling signing off.
Thank you for tuning into the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast with Vicki Noethling, where we share impactful lessons that help you grow as an individual, grow your confidence, and find the positive and good within you so you powerfully and authentically become the best version of yourself. Remember to visit our website at www.findyourleadershipconfidence.com and enjoy even more great episodes like this one. Again, while you're here, subscribe to us via your favorite network. We look forward to seeing you next time on the Find Your Leadership Confidence podcast.